Welcome to Backwater Casting. I'm your host, Rick Greene. We're fishing in Woodstock, New Brunswick today with Rod Currie, who's a consulting biologist from Fredericton. This is fall and the smallmouth fishing should be outstanding today. And while we're up here, we're going to chat a bit with Rod about the low water levels and how that impacts the fish and wildlife.
Beautiful, beautiful morning.
Yeah, she's nice. Small. First cast, not really what we were looking for, but maybe that's a good sign, catching a fish on the first cast, even if he's a baby. That was on a melon orange tube with a 1/8 ounce jig head. So you said you've only been out fishing once this year, Rod?
I was out a couple of times. I got out early for black salmon.
Yes.
Got a few fish and a nice big sea trout. I got a bass. Nice little bass. That's a pretty nice one.
Twice as big as the one I had.
Yeah.
If we can keep doubling our size, we'll have a great day. I can go barbless too if you want. I'm good either way. Come on.
Feisty fish.
Oh, they're crazy. They all think they're big.
I just had a tap there.
There he goes. This guy's
There's
nice.
one.
Oh,
Double
we got
header.
one at the back too. There we go. First daily double. This one's half decent. Just backing the boat up a bit. Come on. Yeah, 2.5 maybe. There he is.
Oh, that is a nice fish.
Yeah, he's a good one. Come here. Is that a decent one there too?
Yeah, decent. Bigger than the last one.
There. Good fish. Get him back.
I'm just pinching the barb down on this hook. There seems to be a few fish around, and
yeah, we might as well go completely barbless on this. It's not that critical if one comes off or not.
so this will make the release a whole lot easier.
At least they're not monsters, but they're good size. I mean, they're just nice, feisty fish. There you go. The barb off just popped right out. That's good. Way you go. So there's some fish here. There's when you're out where you're throwing, Rod, there's a rock pile out there.
Okay.
Yeah, out in front of that second pier, there's a rock pile out there. And sometimes they'll sit on that. I'm going back down in size. This is not good to get your attention.
That's a nice bass.
Yes,
Oh.
sir. That's a good one. Yeah, any that you want a net on, Rod, I got a net right here. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, this one I think might be net worthy.
I got one too. Try to keep the rod
Okay.
bit. Mine's got some slack. He'll probably be gone. I couldn't deal with it. Oh, that is a good fish too right there. That's.
Oh.
No, I'm gonna put my rod down. I can't do that. Left-handed is not my ticket.
There we are.
Okay.
There, perfect.
I think mine will be gone.
Now this is a nice one.
No, he isn't. I got him. Yeah. Oh, my.
Beauty.
Boys, he might be. Don't put that back. Hang on a second. I thought he'd be long gone. Now, I tell you from experience, there would be 2 happy tournament guys in the boat right now.
Yeah.
I think they're awesome. I said we're in
Yeah.
tournament. It should be all good right here.
Yes.
Let's get them back in the water. Awesome.
Beauty.
He's half the size. He's just going round and round in circles down there. Yeah, he is half the size. Not even half, quarter.
Smallest fish of the day.
All right, well, somebody's got to do it.
He's torn up my bait. Yeah, barbless hook, that came out. Pretty nice. Okay, back you go.
So Rod, do you have any insight on the smallmouth, on the ages or anything like that in your work?
Smallmouth bass are longer lived than some of our other fish species we might be more familiar with. That's why we're seeing a variety of sizes today. We're seeing a whole bunch of different year classes.
This is a great sign for down the road. These younger fish, 3 or 4 years ago, we had a good hatch, good spawn, good sign for down the road. 5 or 6 years from now, he'll make somebody's day.
And I just had a hit, just sliding that slowly on the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I try and keep it down.
Yeah.
And even when I'm reeling it back in, if I'm going to recast and reel it back in, before it gets to the boat, I just stop for a minute, because quite often there's one right, they'll chase it, and sometimes you just see him too late.
There he is.
There you go. That's what he gets for messing with you.
Oh, that's a heavier fish.
Yes, sir. Active. Oh, actually, I'll net that. That's bigger than I thought it was. I thought that was the same as mine, but he's bigger. That's a good one right there. I'm kidding. I need to get a longer handle. That is a nice fish right there. Actually, and there's barbless right there. The hook is in my hand. So I'm gonna get a picture of that one before you put it back. That's a solid fish.
Yeah. Good looking fish. Yeah. Okay. Real good. That was a heavy hauler.
So Rod, from your perspective as a biologist, how do you feel about the water temperatures and the water levels and everything this year, where it's been such a strange summer?
Well, this summer has been an exceptionally dry summer ever since June. And it's hard on fish, but it's hard on fishermen too. The salmon fishing's been poor. You know, the hazards from stumps and rocks that normally are well under the surface are a boating hazard that is a concern for anglers. And low water generally means warm water, so perhaps some species are less likely to take. With low water in pools, there's less hiding cover, less depth for fish to find refuge in pools. So eagles, osprey, species like that, the predators could pick them off more easily. So there's a number of concerns.
What kind of effect does that have on the oxygen levels in the water?
With low water, you generally get warm water. And warm water does not hold as much oxygen as cooler waters. So that's a concern as well, especially for our cold water species, brook trout, salmon, and the like.
This actually it's a good little stop for some excitement. I mean, we've had a lot of, we've had a bunch of these, and then Rod got that big one there a minute ago that was a good one. So we've actually seen, we've been fishing about an hour, and we've seen 3 tournament grade fish come to the boat, which is pretty good.
This has turned out to be a good spot.
I'm going to be getting the net again. That's pulling.
Yeah, he's coming though.
He says, I'm big, I'm big.
There. A little bit of fumbling, but that barbless hook popped right out.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
That's a nice enough fish.
Yeah, which goes to show that casting away from shore is not a bad thing. Everybody focuses on the inside, and that fish was on the outside.
Once again, that barbless hook makes the release pretty easy.
Welcome back to Backwater Casting. Rod and I are still fishing around the Woodstock area. We're going to take the opportunity to chat with him about his role with the Fredericton Fish and Game Association and some of the community projects they're involved in. We are in your zone. Never waste an opportunity. There we go. We moved, and still same year class. So there are lots of them this year class around. That guy's probably 7 years old, maybe even a little older than that. But he's 7 anyway.
There's no wind right now, so I think I'll give the fly rod a try. I prefer fly rods over most type of fishing, And it'll be interesting to see if they'll come up for a popper.
So this guy was sitting on the bottom in 11 feet of water. They seem to be pretty much spread out today. That was again on my melon orange tube.
I'm going to try a cork popper. It's one I put some feathers on, painted it up this spring.
Melon orange. There you go. All right. So you have the distinction of being the first person to put one in the boat on a fly rod, because it has been tried before.
He's not in the boat yet.
Well, you're the first guy to hook one up on a fly rod. Yeah, we've had a couple of guests try before, but it was just violently windy days and they just couldn't deal with the fly rod in the wind.
Yeah. In conditions like that, I might try trolling a fly, a streamer.
They put some bend in a fly rod, don't they?
They do. Even a small fish like this is a lot of fun. Okay. Maybe there's a bigger one waiting for us.
There are.
My best experience shad fishing was my first trip out. There was lots of fish around. Water was low, warm, a perfect evening.
So I've never fished for shad ever. So what's a big shad here in New Brunswick? What would that weigh?
Probably 4.5 pounds.
That's actually a big fish.
That's a good sized fish. You fish them on salmon size gear, and most of them will take you into the backing, where not all salmon will do that.
There you go.
There we are. Yeah, putting a nice bend in that for a fish that's not all that big.
It's our fourth tournament grade fish right here.
That's a nice strong little fish.
Yeah. Yeah, great fight on a fly rod. Come here.
Yeah, the first evening I went shad fishing, and shad on the Miramichi, they take better right in low light conditions, so right at dark. It was a warm, sultry evening. Water was low. Lots of flies. I remember that.
A solid one.
But certainly the highest density of hooked fish I've ever encountered. And here it is. A number of years later, I'm still looking for those conditions and that quality of fishing. I haven't seen it since. There we go.
Another one?
That's a bigger one. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, we got a double too.
A little bit bigger.
Yes, sir. That sounded all right. I have to get back in the game here and see what's going on. Boys, Rod, that one looks a lot bigger than the last two. Yeah, he's
That's a
bigger
pretty
again.
good one.
Yeah, you're going
Yes.
up. You keep jumping up a year class, you're going to pretty soon be landing 4-pounders. Perfect hook set right in the corner of the mouth. You must have a fairly strong tippet there to be lifting that in like that.
We're going to find out how strong.
I'm pulling mine up because I got 15-pound fluorocarbon on
Oh,
here.
this is probably just 6-pound
Yeah,
mono.
I'd not be lifting them up by the line. Yeah, you're getting up in size.
That's a real nice fish.
Yeah.
Nice fat fish. But I would guess 2.5 pounds.
That's what I
perhaps?
was thinking too. Yeah, mid 2-pounder. I got a baby. Yeah, Rod puts in a 2. Oh, look at he. Wonder what happened there. He's hooked in the belly. He must have come up and slapped at that, and never even touched it. That's so strange. Yeah, now he's got a big mark on him too. Makes you wonder if they've had some close encounters with a bird. He's got a big scar on him right there. Thought he was big, but he doesn't. He gave a big jump there. He's a high jumper.
That's it for the fly rod.
Oh, that
the
wind
wind's
just
come up now.
Oh yeah, that's blowing, yeah. Yeah, amazing. It's just like a switch. You're going along, it's nice, 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 and all of a sudden you got a 10K wind. Oops, come back.
Going back to the tube jig, it'd be easier to pitch in this wind.
Joy barbless. Well, Rob, why don't you tell us a little bit about Fredericton Fish and Game and your involvement with that?
I'm president of Fredericton Fish and Game Association. That organization's been in existence for almost 100 years. I think it was 1923 or 1924 it was first formed. And we have a number of activities that we do each year. We do the fly tying course after Christmas, Sunday evenings, 10 Sunday evenings. We do a fly casting course and youth fishing tournament in June at Killarney Lake in cooperation with a bunch of sponsors. And adopt a stream cleanup in Killarney Brook. We've been doing that routinely for quite a few years. That's a little urban brook that really needs some love, and we've been trying to do it regularly for it.
You mentioned that you have a big tournament in June on Killarney Lake. Is that strictly a kids tournament or is that a family type tournament?
We host the youth tournament, we call it a youth tournament, at Killarney Lake on Fish New Brunswick weekend. And that's a weekend where parents don't need a fishing license to fish along with their kids. So we encourage anybody to come fish with us. Generally we can get some trout stocked in the lake prior to the tournament, and anybody who catches trout is more than welcome to keep them for the frying pan. It's not a 4-pounder.
No, but perfect hook set though.
Made my heart race though.
Well, it's the anticipation too.
Exactly. Hear stories of the 4-pounder.
Now that guy looks on the slimmer side. He's been caught before too. Got a boo-boo on him.
That barbless hook just
it's
slipped
wonderful,
right out.
isn't it? With the family tournament that you do in June, do you guys do that strictly on your own, or do you get some community support?
We have several sponsors that we couldn't have this tournament be a success without their support. The first one would be the City of Fredericton. They allow us to use the park, Killarney Lake, to host the event and go out of their way to make sure there's lots of garbage cans and picnic tables. We also use the Fredericton Fire Department. They're on site during the fishing tournament to make sure it's done safely. They have their rescue boat on hand. Phil's Auto and Recreation provides us a real good deal on fishing gear, because every kid that enters the tournament goes home with some type of a prize. And Atlantic Superstore, Nashwauk Sis, they give us funding to feed 200 to 300 kids and parents every year. And the tournament couldn't be successful without that support.
So the Fredericton Fish and Game has been around for so long. Do you have any involvement with the New Brunswick Wildlife Federation?
One of the projects that the Wildlife Federation is doing in cooperation with the Fish and Wildlife Branch is to try to promote the creel census survey. Government has had a hard time getting sufficient returns on creel census data to make sound management decisions for many species of sport fish. So it's important that anglers return that information either during the season on through their online program, or to do it at the end of the season in your sports fishing summary. The middle of it has a form that can be filled out. With this information, they'll be able to manage our sport fisheries much more effectively.
Looks like he's pulling pretty good.
Yeah. Ooh, I think it is a bigger fish.
Oh, yep, I'm getting that.
Feels real good.
Yeah, it looked like a solid fish. Get it closer.
That
short-handled net. Yes, sir.
That jig's been working well for me. Very nice fish. At least 2.5, maybe a little bit more. What do you think, Rick?
Yeah, at least 2.5, yeah. Welcome back to Backwater Casting. In this last segment of the show, Rod Currie and I are going to continue to fish for smallmouth bass, and we're going to learn some more about his role as a consulting biologist in habitat restoration programs.
Oh,
There's
that's a
actually
nicer
couple
one.
of good fish across
Yeah.
here. Oh, he's a jumper too.
Yeah.
Deep too, guy's sitting out here in 18 feet of water. Boys, he's pulling too. He just does not want to come in the boat. Come on, it's a nice boat, you'll like it. Yeah, that's a good fish. Boy, he's not gonna give it up.
Do you want the net for him?
No, I'm gonna reach down there and I'm gonna give him some love. So there's another tournament grade fish. We're well on our way. He looked bigger in the water, but he's still a good fish. I would have given that fish another pound in the water.
Yes.
Yeah, nice solid fish.
Better than a pound, but
So Rod, what is it that you actually do for a living?
my business cards say I'm a biological consultant. So anything biological, I'll turn my hand to, and but mainly it's fish and aquatic resources.
So what kind of projects do you work on?
A lot of my work involves doing electrofishing, taking fish out of construction sites, so we call them fish rescues. Go in and when they're drying up a section of stream to put in a culvert or replace a bridge pier or something like that, I'll take the fish out of that area. Another thing I do is environmental monitoring. I actually measure fish populations, find out how many of whatever species and age class per 100 square meters of stream habitat.
Tell me a bit more about the habitat restoration projects.
This past year, we created down the Minto area some brook trout habitat, but there was very little opportunity for brook trout to recolonize this former ditch, and got the permit to go to neighboring streams, get a few brook trout, put them into that section, and our fish assessment this year showed lots and lots of brook trout fry.
Yeah, that's decent.
Yeah. People would like to see it.
Oh,
More fish. Yeah, not the biggest, but not the smallest either.
Not bad. Like to see that guy eat the fly. Rod, thank you so much for coming out and fishing with us today. That was a blast up here in Woodstock. And
Rick, thank you very much. It was an excellent day. Here we are, the end of the season, and for me, what a way to take it out.
yeah, no, it's awesome. We got to see some geese and a couple of bald eagles, beautiful colors, lots of fish. It
Lots
doesn't
of
get
fish.
any better than that.
Yeah.
And Woodstock for us is one of the premier places to fish. I mean, they have a
I can
nice
see why.
facility here, lots of parking, big ramp. Water's as low as I've ever seen it before. But it was lots of fun. I'm glad you came and joined us.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, anyway, thank you so much again.
And thank you.